Hey everyone, welcome to the Stock Talk for September 12th. So this is the S&P 500 SPY on the daily time frame, and by now you can see that we have made a new all-time high. And I feel a little bit obligated to give an update video from the last few Stock Talks because I've kind of talked about in the last few videos that when we were at the support level, we're going to be at one point at all-time highs, looking back at this support level and asking ourselves, why didn't we buy in at that very point in time? Do you remember those reasons? Was because there was a lot of fear. There were recession talks. We were at support levels. It looked like bear flag. There were a lot of reasons. And when we follow the masses in terms of sentiment, that was extreme pessimism. One is bound to lose. And that's just how it is. And now we are at the peak. So we also talked about how this was the wall of worry, and the wall of worry is usually climbed out of. Well, we certainly did climb out of it, and we're pretty much out of it. We're not immediately or directly in the clear, but it's pretty much out of the wall of worry. And when we're out of the wall of worry, this is the time when I start worrying. So, by the way, if you're interested in the course or my personal analysis, technical analysis on all these charts, stocks, SPY, crude oil, gold, natural gas, I do this almost on a daily basis for all the members, and I really give in-depth analysis for the members as well. So if you're interested in that, and this is something that I teach everything I know to the members in the course, that is in the description box down below. So please hit the link and take a look at it if you're interested. All right. So with that said, this is the S&P 500. I have this trend line, higher high trend line, which is the red trend line. I think this trend line is more significant than the white trend line. So the white trend line comes in around this peak, but we already hit it 3 times. So maybe we hit it the 4th time. So your two values are $303.50 and $306, which we'll see if those function as resistance. So again, right now, what's more extreme right now is the rapid nature, and we're moving higher. So again, I want to say this. The market is clearly bullish by now, right? You all know this. This market is bullish because we've had a series of higher highs and higher lows, and that it's really your interpretation of the markets. Yes, we've had massive drops, right? This was, 7% drop, 20% drop, but this probably was like more of a 10% drop. This was a 7% drop. This was a 5 or 6% drop. Those are significant moves. But the bias continues to be higher highs and higher lows and an uptrend. So what do we do in that case? Well, that is still bullish, but are we a little bit extended? Sure. Yes. So what can we do? There's certainly a potential in which we can get rejected off one of these resistance or very close to one of these resistance levels and come back down. We'll come back down to where? If we get that move, it's back down towards the 150 period moving average or the 200 period moving average. It's as simple as that, believe it or not. But like I said, I would like the market to make a shift in tone first before I talk about, or speculate about the downside. I would like the market to tell the tale first. What I find a lot of people doing nowadays is they'll speculate that how far we can go down, but when it doesn't pan out, there's always a different reason why we'd go down. Follow the trend until the trend stops. The trend is up right now in the short term. Until and unless that stops, the short-term trend and the long-term trend is up. If we see a shift at those resistance areas, we'll see it. Maybe I'll go live again on YouTube, but I know members will get up to date on the minute fly analysis as to what's going on that particular day, whether it's next week or the FOMC meeting or whatever catalyst is out there. So that's what we're looking at for the S&P 500. Same story with TVIX. So TVIX is TVIX, tracks volatility. And as you can see, markets pushing higher results in TVIX or volatility going lower. And this is, once again, on a downtrend. If all the markets start collapsing, TVIX will go higher. Maybe it'll go higher a lot, but we don't know when that will occur. Until unless that occurs and we can see it, we might be able to jump on board during the day. But this is on a downtrend, and this can continue down, breaking all-time lows, which is around 1270. And actually, I kind of talked about this. We're now only 5 to 6% from all-time lows. This is still moving lower. I can't see a reversal here, and so that's that. Still downtrend. TVIX, same story. So with these, stock talks for everyone, on here, we don't have to do stock talks every single day, right? When the analysis is correct, in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, when the analysis is correct most of the time, we don't need to do an update video every single day, right? Because it holds true. When things start to shift, then it's important to see where things are going when the trend shifts. Crude oil, same story here. Here's /CL. This is crude oil futures. And same story. Above this trend line, you can see off of the inventory report earlier this week, we had a pretty dramatic down move and continuation today. But above this trend line is bullish, below it is bearish. Same story as before. Natural gas. So while we expected natural gas to be bullish, it has played out for considerable upside. As you can see, here's natural gas. Now the thing about this is this: natural gas, if it continues to move, it needs to move quicker. No, it's quicker, right? Because natural gas, what this is doing is, this is a very quick move to the upside, and expectation, if it continues higher, I don't know if it can do that, but if it can do that, is to push up as quick and as fast as it can, similar to what we had in this sort of move. If we start consolidating sideways for a long period of time, the probability, in my opinion, that it's going to go lower increases. Okay, so if it stalls out for a long period of time, that probability of a dive. So again, I can see both ways for natural gas, and for that reason, I'm not interested in natural gas. And when we're not interested, we don't have to take the trade. 4/GC tracking gold futures. So this is gold, obviously on a short-term downtrend. You can see your first support level of around 1478 to 1479, but a more significant support level around 1438, 1439. The members will know why that is a significant support level, and it's not just because of these resistance candles up here. So be sure to take a look at that stock talk that was posted today, yesterday, the day before that, if you're kind of curious as why that's a support level. But this is on a short-term downtrend, and so we'll be looking at how this develops for gold futures. All right, so we're going to go to all of your comments, and there were a lot of comments actually that were made in the last video. So once again, I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for making all those comments. And we're going to read out all those comments, and we're kind of go through your tickers as well. So Giants, Rico. Hey Kevin, great video. Hope you have a great trade. Thank you, Rico. Good to see you back as always. Robbie, great views by following the trend. I've watched so many bearish narratives out there, and this is by far the best. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Robbie, for your comment. Yeah, and my analysis just stems from following the trend, right? Whether you're looking at the short term or long term, it's your perspective. If you have the patience to weather things out, the long-term trend for the S&P 500 is clearly bullish. So while we're at the peak, you might not really, you might be like, okay, that's whatever, right? It's perfectly fine. We're making all-time highs. Maybe it'll make another dip lower in the next few months. But in the end, I expect higher prices in months to come. Okay, so that's a valid perspective based off of what SPY is showing right now. But I like to follow the trend instead of guess as where potential reversals could occur, because when they don't occur, then you're going back into the drawing board and making up potentially other things until that actually happens, and that's not a very good way to trade, in my opinion. I like to follow the trend. Okay, so good. Thank you for your comment though. Moviegoer, thanks for your insights. What are your thoughts about Netflix? Okay, so I actually have not taken a look at Netflix stock for a while. Okay, so Netflix is clearly on a downtrend, right below all the moving averages, couldn't even break above the 20-period moving average. I personally don't like Netflix just based off this chart. Whether this gets to 320 or 220, it's not really going to interest me. I can see a support level at 237, but that's not a very well-defined support. You can see this, but this is not a very well-defined support level. So I'm not interested in Netflix either way, and this looks like it might be in a very long period of consolidation. So this is on a short-term downtrend, certainly. Okay, thank you for your ticker, moviegoer. And Steve, Killer Kevin, outstanding information provided on the past videos. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad these videos help. One more turn. Just curious, why don't you use RSI? So RSI is the relative strength index. I actually kind of answered your question on the comment, but just kind of give a reiteration. It's good to utilize various indicators or just kind of take a look at it. I don't have it on here. Sometimes I take a look at RSI, but it's not something I definitively use. The members and I use a set of different indicators, but with RSI, it kind of gives you a good gauge of where things are overbought and oversold, right? So it's good to kind of scan things like, oh, this is overbought, maybe potentially sell. But as we know, overbought can be what? More overbought. Oversold can be more oversold. So it's not a definitive factor of whether I should go into a ticker if it's oversold or sell when it's overbought. But it's something sometimes I glance at. So thank you. Melanie, thank you for your comment. Matt, what is your name on Discord? Yeah, I gave you that answer. Coolio, shame on you for not talking about Roku. Roku. Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because I replied to your comment, this was a few days ago before this drop happened, and I asked you, is it a good thing to be long on Roku or short on Roku? Because I know we were extended, but it was really your perception whether we can be more extended or we're going to have a fallback move back towards support. So, I think if you made money on Roku, great job. What can you tell about this chart? This is obviously on an uptrend with some short-term volatility to the downside, but the bias here has to be that it's still on an uptrend. Though Roku, I know, it doesn't make it very easy for people. As you can see, you really have to have a strong heart to go through earnings report, because it's really during earnings in which we have these gap ups, right? So right now we're not close to earnings yet, but this is what we see. So thank you for your comment, Coolio. And then finally, 7-day options. If we go higher too quickly, that's going to be very, very bearish. Sounds weird, but if we can make new highs by the end of next week, that's today and tomorrow, I anticipate that to be the greatest shorting opportunity, and even bigger crash will come soon after developing into a new recession. So interesting comment. I think you provided some intuitive insights. So you mentioned how making new highs by the end of the week. We're at the end of the week, and we actually made a new high on SPY at least. So that's interesting. And with the comment about a new recession, that's a little bit far-fetched, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But I do agree with the comment that when the chase is on, this is kind of what I talked to the members, right? Right now, we're kind of seeing the chase occurring right now. And when the chase is on, it can go a little bit higher than what you expect. But if there is a snapback effect, it can occur very rapidly as well. So, well, but right now it's still bullish until it isn't. When we see that, and if it occurs, I might come back out and do an update. So, all right, but very intuitive comment. I like it. Thank you everyone for, commenting on these videos. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to everyone very soon, I hope. Or if you are on Discord, I will talk to you tonight and tomorrow. Have a great day.